Nothing in life is perfect. Nature is not perfect. But perhaps it's the imperfections that make Mother Earth perfection. Perhaps it's imperfection that creates perfection. And then perhaps perfection doesn't exist at all. And neither does imperfection. Maybe there just is. Naturally and purely life. How much left have you got of this?
I'm just locking down veneer. I still have all
Sand,
the sand,
yeah.
and I need to fill, but I don't know what you want me to fill it with.
Something that matches.
We don't have any filler that matches this.
Well, it's going to go this colour. But if you go with that colour straight off the bat, it will go even darker. So, you look at the lid. Yeah, the other two. So, something around this colour or that colour. You can go that colour or that colour. This piano that I'm working on is my new project. It is an old piano that was horrifically sun damaged. It is shellac French polish based, and they wanted it completely redone, a full restoration. As you can see here, I have my oil, that is top base shellac, mineral spirits, and a concoction that I made myself. I'm trying to build the colour back up. This was not actually in the sun, so it's the original colour, however this is. Some parts were in the sun, some parts weren't. The ones that were in the sun are the lighter colours, that's called sun bleached. The darker colours are the ones that were hidden from the sun. So adding a tint to my French polishing mix, I slowly build thin layers up and up and up until I get the tone that I want. Although I don't unfortunately make the shellac mixture myself, I would prefer to. However, I do use pigment to make my own colours. In winter time in the shop it gets very cold, especially in the mornings before the heaters are put on, so I do tend to wear a phenomenal amount of layers and then throughout the day slowly take those layers off. I keep checking the music rack, as that is the original colour, to keep an eye on what tone I wish to keep it to. Here I'm using my special blend and a brush to slowly tone it up. I do eventually end up faux grading this afterwards. You'll probably see that in the next video. Because it was so sun damaged, I'd noticed it had actually bleached away most of the faux grain that was originally painted on, so later on I had to redo it. Traditional as French polishing is, and shellac, it is not durable, but it does make the sound more beautiful than a lacquer-based finish. And if you're going for historical accuracy and sound, French polish shellac is the way to go. As you can see here, I am toning it. What I didn't know underneath all this was it is actually painted, and underneath that was rosewood. So unfortunately the shellac was reacting to the paint, and it was just melting away no matter what I did, no matter how many times I did it, which I painted over it 4 times. I redid this one side 4 times, it just kept peeling away no matter what I did. I finally figured out I was given the wrong type of shellac, which didn't help my situation. So once I found the proper traditional shellac, it definitely helped, and then I had to rebuild it all back up again. Another thing that I was battling with was not being happy with my work. Every time I would do it, I just felt like it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. I always feel that my work is never good enough. I could always do better. I'm always one for experiments, and I decided this time I was going to try and use touch-up markers with a paintbrush end, using it to try and hide all the fine lines and scratches. But I did find this to be time-consuming and very difficult, and just didn't look right no matter what I did. So eventually I ended up going back after this and just regraining it a little myself and trying to tone it all back in. These pens are only good for very, very tiny things. Still trying to find perfection where perfection did not exist. Lighter colour is where the chemical reaction happened that went all the way down to the original rosewood underneath. I never realised how difficult it would be to match somebody else's original piece. The faux grain was originally painted by somebody lost in time, and now I had to recreate it myself. And right before my eyes, yet again in the same corner, more chemical reactions as I watched all my work just melt away before my eyes. To me, this is just a reminder, once I really sat down and thought about it, that life happens, and you just gotta keep on going and try again, and not to give up. Again, me trying to find perfection where perfection never existed. I didn't give up on that piano, and I didn't give up on that corner, and I kept going, and I kept trying different things. Eventually, layer by layer, piece by small piece, one little bit of paintbrush at a time, I slowly started to build it back up again, and moulding their work with mine. Slowly but surely, turning it into a beautiful masterpiece. But no one will ever criticize you as hard as you criticize yourself. It doesn't matter how many times you have to start again. It is never too late to continue and keep going as long as you never give up. And with a new mindset and a new thought that nothing in nature is perfect, wood grain is never perfectly symmetrical. I drew on the new grain, moulded it with the old grain, matched it, and then add my own flair. It's definitely going to be one of those days. This is the front part of the piano, the front lid. As you can see, it was sun damaged, and the parts that didn't get the sun were very dark and very red in tone, although the graining on it still remained quite well. Everything started to come together. Lines slowly blurred from where their work and my work started. As you can see by the legs, how badly sun damaged it was compared to the body now. Everything started to blend and come together to make the masterpiece I foresaw in my head. Although this is not the way I would have personally painted on faux grain. Do a little explanation of what I'm doing. I have a light, so that's different. Turn it off, I can't really see as well. So, but in here is top coat, shellac. The thick gloopy stuff is your base coat. That's if it's down to raw wood. You've got dyes, pigments. I'm using this. So this is my black, or like a really dark mahogany, no, not mahogany, really dark walnut. Cool tone, my warm tone, dark. This is my thick shellac and my shellac brush. And I'm going to French polish it at the end. Yeah, I've got this tiny brush. Down here. We come over here. Let's do something we haven't done yet. Let's go over here. See what we had to do on the camera. Like I said a minute ago, this isn't how I was taught to do faux grain. This is somebody else's art, this is somebody else's vision that I'm trying to recreate. Just because it isn't your idea of what faux grain or how something should look like, doesn't mean it's not right. It's just not your vision. And that is the ego. And sometimes we put our ego aside, and then we can actually enjoy the task at hand. I hadn't done the final coat of French polish yet, but finally I could see it. Although I was harshly judging my work and critiquing myself consistently the entire time, I had finally done it and only had one piece left to do. On the side at least. I still had the front to do as well. And then the lids. And all the other little parts I had to get done, including the soundboard. One of the lessons I was taught in my finishing career is knowing when to leave it alone. And I'm still trying to study that. But I was putting on some of the final little pieces, little touch-ups, adding a little bit of grain here and there. On the older side of the artwork, I wanted to add in some warmer tones back in where it had faded, and darken the lines and the grain, where over time, that too had faded away. Do a little dance. Dance for me. Aw. Zooming on you, motherfucker. Happy with the main body of the grand piano, I started working on the front, and the front has to be perfect. Typically, the front is a centerpiece. Using a super fine brush, I add thin layers of grain and texture to the front, giving it life again. Really? Never a true word said. So like R.E.M. then. He's enjoying that. Just tie this off here. I'm going to make a will. In my will, you have to sing at my funeral. Exactly. And if it's not like that. my husband starts to work on the legs. As you can see, each one's a completely different tone. As I stand here, walking around my work, looking it up, I'm remembered of where it all started, where it all began, and how long I have actually been doing this for. A place for 13 years I called home. I started working on pianos professionally in 2018 and worked my way from the bottom all the way up. Until that point it was just a hobby, where in my home I redid antique violins, worked on antique trucks. I really had to fight my way in the industry though, from the bottom all the way to the top, fighting at every corner because no one would ever take me seriously. But what I've learnt over all these years is that actions speak louder than words. Let my work show you what I can do. And I have to admit, as bad as it may sound, I do enjoy looking at the surprise on people's faces when I can do what I say I can actually do. When I'm working on my art and my craft, all the sound and noise in my head silence. There's nothing but me, colour, and a brush. Most of the time, when I'm not on an extreme deadline, I find it to be one of the most relaxing things. It's time for some yin yoga on a Friday. Set up. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and subscribing. Thank you for joining me today. I say nothing but love. Sincerely, Hop Fairy.